So in the two previous sections, we've been talking about positive and negative numbers. And now that we've gotten into 11-5, we're going to get to something I talked about earlier on 11-1. In that now we're going to add the integers. Okay, so we're going to start adding positive and negative numbers. All right, and it's not as simple as 2 plus 2. All right, you've got to pay attention to what you are adding together. Okay, so if you're adding a positive, if you're adding a negative number, okay, you go left. That means that the direction is going to go, it's going to make a smaller number. So anytime, no matter what the number is, if I'm going to add a negative number, that means that number is going to actually get smaller, okay? If I'm going to add a positive number, then that means no matter what the number is, it's always going to get bigger. Okay, so it's going to be a bigger number. So looking at this number line, starting at 0 is always the starting point when you're trying to look at a problem on a number line. Okay, so this means I'm going from 0 to 4. So 4 is my starting number. And then I'm going to add 1 to 4, so plus 1. And then my answer is always where the is always at the end. So I went from 0 to 4, I added 1, and ended on 5. Okay, so write a problem for a number line above. So looking at this problem, you find where 0 is, you look what direction it goes. I'm going to 4, so that's my first number. I'm going to add 1, so the plus is going to be my sign. The number value attached to it is the number that I'm adding to my beginning number. And then the wherever the plus 1 ended is my answer. So to kind of add to that, let's look at this problem. Start at 0. So 0 to -2. So -2 is my first number. I'm going to add, there's my sign, -5. So -5 would be my second number. And wherever that ends is my answer, -7. So -2 plus -5 is going to equal -7. And so if you're unsure of that, start at -2 and move 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And since it's negative, remember, since I'm adding a negative number, I move to the left. That makes my number smaller. Okay? Looking at number 3, write a problem for the number line above. Remember, start at 0, move from 0 to 3. So that means my first number is 3. I'm using a different one since this is green. Then move from 3, it says I'm going to add a -8, so plus is my operation. -8 is my second number. And then where it ends is my answer, -5. So I moved from 3 back 8 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which would be -5. And that's where the -5 comes from. So now, without using a number line, let's go ahead and do number 4. So once again, I'm taking a +6, and I'm adding a -5, which means my number is going to get smaller since I'm adding a negative number. So I'm going to move back 5 places. Okay? So if I'm going to move back 5 places, that would be 5, 4, 3, 2, and a +1. So that would be my answer, would be +1. 5. I'm going to go, I start out at -7. I'm going to add a +4, which means my number is getting bigger. So I start at 7. You're going to move 4 places. That'd be -6, -5, -4, -3. So -3 is my answer. And last, we're talking about something called evaluating expressions. And we'll talk a lot more about this in the next unit. But I'm going to show you how you evaluate an expression. Okay? So we don't know what x is until they told us that x is equal to -9. So therefore, we want to substitute negative 9 in for x to make it negative 9 plus 3. So it's no longer x plus 3 because we know that x is 9. So we need to check and see what our value is then. So we take negative 9 plus 3, all right? So negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, because I'm moving to the right 3 places. So negative 6 is going to be our answer.